Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Monday 8 p.m. division. My name is Jack. I'm your commentator, and we are here with MOR Esports for the Canadian Grand Prix. Canada, always one of those tracks that throws something up in the air. This should be quite an interesting race, it must be said. We'll see how everything unfolds. We've got 20 drivers taking to the track here tonight in our final race of the evening. We've got the podcast coming up for you straight after this, but this is our first bit of racing the last bit of racing action of the evening. So do make sure you are following if you are new, so you get live notifications on whenever we are posting, and we are live with racing action. First car out on track, I believe, is Bolt Will, and it is Bolt Will who is just coming out of the second sector now. And the Audi driver will be the first man to try and set a competitive lap time in this session. We know track limits can be a very big thing around this track, so I would not be surprised if something a little bit untoward happens. As Bolt Will through the hairpin and down towards the final chicane he comes. What does the Audi driver have in store for us in this session? As I say, the first man to try and set a competitive lap time comes through the chicane, avoids the wall of champions, and begins on his way then to his first qualifying lap. Bolt Will into the first couple of corners we go with the Audi driver. It looks stable for him. Let's go on board with the Audi. Looking a little bit twitchy on the front end for Bolt Will, as he tries to caress the car through the corners. Little bit of a lock-up on the brakes there. Nothing that will cost him too much time. Sounds like he might be struggling a little bit with the gears. Keeping it on the road though. Making sure it is a valid lap time, at least for the time being. Into the hairpin we go then with the Audi car. Little bit wide through the hairpin. Not the ideal line, but it will give him a good exit down towards the final chicane. The Audi driver with 2 more corners to negotiate, or 1 corner complex. We'll go on board with him again. That is a very early turn-in. Somehow doesn't invalidate. All over the grass on the run to the line. And Bolt Will with a 1 minute 13.5. Next car to take to the line, I believe, will be one of the Hasses that is on an outlap. We've got a Ferrari out there. That's Danny. We've also got Matt Connor on an outlap. Who have we got coming to the line then? There's quite a few people coming to the line. Andy Price being one of them. MCL goes quickest with a 1 minute 10.7. We've got Harry in the TikTok chat. Welcome in, Harry. Good to see you. Harry coming in with the roses as well. Thank you very much, Harry, for the gifts, my friend. Always appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Absolute legend you are. Executioner Same now takes the top spot then. With a 1 minute 10.5. Andy Price went third with an 11.0. Here comes Blake. He's invalidated his time. We'll be going on another lap now. Xavier has not set a lap time. Batowl is on a lap at the moment. Alcada backed out of his lap. He invalidated. We've got Luke M in 11th place at the moment. It looks like he is on another outlap. Carmad Kyle has invalidated. TTV Kean's invalidated. Danny F31 is not on a lap at the moment. We've got Ollie just going onto a lap, it looks like. Here comes Matt Connor towards the line. And goes 5th fastest with a 1 minute 11.1. We've got D-Ghost just making his way towards the final chicane as well. Harry saying, who are you picking to win? It's a tough question, to be honest. I think my eyes would be on Ollie, on Executioner Same, MCL, Danny F31. it's difficult to pick one. You've obviously got Mr. Smith in there as well. If I had to pick one, I think I would go with MCL. I don't think he's outright the quickest, but I think he's definitely the smartest. And I think MCL will definitely be in the fight as MOR Blake goes ahead of MCL and up into second place. At the moment, Xavier has invalidated his lap time. What about Mr. Smith? He's invalidated. So a lot of track limit violations for a lot of these drivers. Canada is easily one of the hardest tracks to get a quick, valid lap time on. And I think this session is just proving it. TTV Kian is on a lap at the moment. I think Danny F31 may be on another lap as well. He is. Would definitely expect better than a 15.4 from Danny. Makes his way towards the line now, and it is provisional pole for Danny F31, a 1 minute 10.389. And the Ferrari driver leaping away out in front. TTV Kian to set his lap time, makes his way into the chicane. What can TTV Kian try and produce in that Red Bull? Makes his way towards the line now. Goes P11 with a 1 minute 12.787. And Kian up into 11th place. Alcada on his latest lap has ran out of battery very early down the main straight. What can Alcada try and get out of his V-car? Makes his way through the final chicane now, and towards the line he will come. Using all of the battery towards the line, Alcada goes P12 at 1 minute 12.8 for the V-car. We've got Mr. Smith, who is invalidated again. We've got Ollie, who's coming into the pit lane. We've got MCL, who is invalidated and is also coming into the pit lane. Luke M isn't on a lap. We've got Extreme Jag, who's currently in 9th, I believe, has just set his lap time. Ollie saying, can I join the league? You most certainly can. I will send you a link to our website. Give me 2 moments, Ollie. Right, there we go. So if you just copy that link into your web browser, like Google, Safari if you're on iPhone, whatever it is, and head to our website, you can sign up to be a part of the league. You'll get a link to the Discord, all of that good stuff, and get yourself involved. We run social races at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. every day, and then we have our championship scheduled events at 6 and 8 p.m. as well. And then maybe starting weekly, or not starting weekly, maybe daily at some point, we'll be running the MOR podcast. There is a podcast episode tonight hosted live by myself and my co-host F1 Mikey Boy, also known as Mike, also known as the league owner. So definitely make sure you're coming through to watch the podcast if you are free. We'll be about half an hour after this race ends that we will be bringing you the podcast. Alex saying, oh yeah, you changed your name. I forgot. I've been looking for ages. We're glad to have you back, Alex. Glad you can join us once more. Mr. Smith going for yet another lap, trying to just keep it valid. And between the white lines, Harry saying what time? It will be 10 p.m. UK time. The podcast begins. Mr. Smith once again invalidating. Mr. Smith is really struggling in this session. Well, Alex, we're glad to have you back in the TikTok chat, mate. Executioner Same making his way towards the line. And Executioner Same does go to provisional pole. I do want to say as well, a big announcement for the 10 p.m. podcast. We're doing 2 giveaways, one on TikTok and one on Twitch. If you want to enter when the streams go live on Twitch, you have to gift a sub or subscribe, and on TikTok you have to send a gift over 50 coins, and every gifted sub or gift over 50 coins counts as one entry into the giveaway And then all of the names, all of the entries will be put into a spin wheel. And at the end of the podcast, we will spin the wheel, and the giveaway winner will be chosen. If you are chosen, all you got to do is contact Mikey, and it will be shipped to you. Harry saying, what's the giveaway? Good question. It is 2 canvas prints. There is an Ayrton Senna Marlboro one, if I'm not mistaken. And then there is a Max Verstappen one. And they're like canvases that you can hang on your wall. I really want the Max Verstappen one. I'm entering myself in the giveaway because I really want to get the Max Verstappen one. But we'll have to see how many people enter in. But it should be interesting either way. MCL making his way towards the line. And MCL goes up to second. Just a few thousandths of a second off of Executioner Same. Danny F31 is on his latest lap, as is MOR Blake. Harry was hoping for Piastri. Well, we are practically doing a giveaway every podcast now. So if we do go to doing them daily, it will be a daily podcast, as Car Mad Kyle now goes to the top at 1 minute 10.342. And this fight at the front is getting very, very spicy. Alex saying, what are you giving away? I didn't hear it. We're giving away a Max Verstappen canvas and a Ayrton Senna Marlboro canvas. Danny F31 takes back provisional pole position then. Over Moffy saying, can I join the qualifying? Are you in the Discord, Over Moffy? MCL in 4th. Blake has invalidated his lap. Andy Price on his latest lap. What can Andy do in this session? The McLaren driver makes his way towards the chicane, has burned up all of the battery in the pursuit of lap time. Through the final chicane we go, nearly grazes against the wall of champions. And Andy Price goes up to 6th place then. It's just a few thousandths off of his McLaren teammate Blake. McLaren faring very, very well. I must say, McLaren looking very strong as one of the early constructors. We've also got the likes of Haas in there as well. Ferrari looking pretty decent. It's going to be hard to tell who can win this Constructors' Championship. I do think McLaren probably have the edge. We've got Mr. Bilski and Marley in the chat. Welcome in, guys. Great to see you. D-Ghost into the final chicane. He's currently sat in P16 with a 1 minute 13.0. D-Ghost crosses the line. It is non-improvement, 2 tenths down. Over Moffy, have you signed up at all for any of the days or anything? Or have you literally just joined the Discord? Mr. Smith is on a valid lap time then. And finally, the Mercedes driver looks to get himself involved in the fight up front. He's got one corner to negotiate. Gets through it very quickly. Mr. Smith has struggled for the last 14 minutes and now goes to provisional pole position. Wasn't able to get a valid lap time for 14 minutes. And Mr. Smith, the one lap that he gets right, he goes half a second clear of Danny F31. What a lap time from Mr. Smith. And it is provisional pole for the Mercedes driver. Not Andy Price, sorry, MOR Blake now on another lap. The McLaren driver getting a slipstream from the Audi. As into the chicane we go. Might be getting a bit held up and is going to get held up. Is MOR Blake. Runs out of battery. It is still improvement for Blake. But you'd imagine it would have been P6 for him. Maybe even P5. Had there have not been that hold up. I'm not sure who the Audi was. Can we find out? I believe it may have been Jack Plays. It was Jack Plays that held up MOR Blake. Over Moffy saying, how do I sign up to join? I'm literally just go in the general chat and just let us know your availability for days of what you can race. And then one of the admins will get back to you as soon as possible with open seats and whatnot. Ollie's saying, I can't manage to log into Discord. Do I need it? You do need Discord. If you go on our TikTok page, there is just a link to the Discord server without the website. You might want to try that. Maybe that will work. I'm not 100% sure. We've got Javier and Meloon both on outlaps. The two Alpine drivers have not set lap times in this session so far. Meloon, I believe, joining a little bit late in qualifying, but has now turned up for the final 2 minutes, and Meloon needs to try and get a good lap time here. We know how quick Meloon can be. Can he try and drag some performance out of that Alpine? It's a 19.6 first sector split for the Alpine driver. Little bit of a moment on the rear end. That shouldn't cost him too much time. He's just got to hope that this Mercedes in front of him does duck out of the way as Meloon clouts the wall and is going to abort this lap. Carmad Kyle on his latest lap. Executioner same has backed out of his. So let's stick with Carmad Kyle then. Currently in third. Needs 3/10 of improvement to beat Danny. Needs about 8/10 to try and beat Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith looking absolutely clear in this session so far, it must be said. Carmad Kyle then has backed out of his lap after his invalidation. Here comes Executioner same. Here comes MCL. Executioner same down on his lap time. And Executioner same is going to get held up, and there is contact between himself and the Williams, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is going to back out of this lap. It looks like he's still pushing on, as no, he wouldn't be able to back out. So MCL then, what does he have towards the hairpin? Carnage kicking off in the final parts of qualifying. We've got Executioner Stain, who's still trying to set this lap time. Qualifying is now over. Executioner same to the line. Does not improve. What about MCL then? Through the final chicane we go. Clouts the wall of champions. MCL towards the line. Meloon goes into third. MCL goes fourth. What about Carmad Kyle then? The Haas driver through the final chicane. I nearly called it the bus stop there. Carmad Kyle to the line. Does improve, but not by enough. Mr. Smith has backed off. What about Danny F31 then? He crosses the line. It's enough to get him into the 1:09s, but it's not enough to get to Mr. Smith. Luke M will set one more lap time in this session too. He's invalidated and is out into the wall of champions. And Luke M crashing out of qualifying. D-Ghost will be the last man to take the flag, but that is qualifying over. It is Mr. Smith with a dominant one-lap pole position. Danny lines up in second with Meloon in third place. Ollie in fourth with MCL in fifth. Rainey saying I'd put it on pole, to be fair. Join the league then, my friend. Get involved. We want people challenging our guys. They are your qualifying results then, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Smith takes pole position. And that is a very close qualifying session, it must be said. We have got a brilliant race coming up for you. The Canadian Grand Prix is up next. Welcome back to the action then, ladies and gentlemen, and we're on the formation lap. That is a very odd line from Mr. Smith to take the pit lane exit to get out of turn 1. Strategy-wise, it's pretty much 50-50 between the mediums and the hard compound tyres. Mr. Smith really wanting to get on with this formation lap. Danny and Meloon sticking with him though. Meloon also a great effort to qualify third. Ollie in fourth with MCL in fifth. Carmad Kyle in sixth with Executioner Same in seventh. Luke M is eighth with Blake in ninth and Matt Connor in 10th. RTG Jackie 11th. Andy Price is 12th with Extreme Jag in 13th. Batao 14th. Jack 15th with Kian in 16th. Alcada 17th. D-Ghost in 18th. Bolt Will 19th. With one Javier in 20th and Liam Wolf in 21st. Mr. Smith will lead them away then. And this is going to be a very interesting qualifying session. If you are new, make sure you're following down below. You don't want to miss out on the podcast and the giveaways that we've got coming to you tonight from the podcast. So make sure you are tuning in with us. As the drivers line up on the grid then. Bolt Will still just coming out of the hairpin, trying to warm up those tyres. Bolt Will through the final chicane then. And all that's left to do is wait for the lights. The engines roar to life then, ladies and gentlemen. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers and we can go racing for the Canadian Grand Prix. Mr. Smith is your leader. Danny in second place. Look at Meloon having to defend from the Cadillac of Ollie. Carmad Kyle in 5th place with MCL in 6th. Getting tagged in the rear, I believe, there by Executioner Same. Blake already making up places on the outside of Executioner Same and gets the move done. Blake up into 7th place. A great start from the McLaren driver. It looks like Jack Plays is falling down. And you can see there's already big front wing damage to that Audi. As Jack Plays continues on, Liam Wolf currently at the back of the grid. Mr. Smith is your leader. Danny F31 right behind him. Meloon in 3rd with Ollie in 4th place. And the top 4 already streaking a little bit clear. That's Danny down the inside of the hairpin. Now wheel to wheel with Mr. Smith. Mercedes versus Ferrari. Who's going to be quicker? They're going to get pinched up towards the wall here. But the track luckily opens out. This isn't a social race V1. This is a championship event as Danny goes in very deep and Meloon immediately through into 2nd. Look at Ollie. Surely going to take 3rd place and does so. Danny going to charge back up the inside line. Is he able to keep the position? It doesn't look like it. Danny, as Ollie then gets all out of shape. I think there was contact between the Cadillac and the Ferrari. It's Ollie that comes off worst. Carmad Kyle now up to 4th. MCL 5th and Blake in 6th. Ollie will continue on without any damage. And we'll try and regain and make a little bit of a comeback as Meloon now looking to take the position off of Mr. Smith. And doing so, Mr. Smith gonna look to the outside line. He's gone off the road. And when he rejoins, Meloon takes the lead. Danny now up to 2nd place. Everyone getting their elbows out in the early going of this Canadian Grand Prix. We're only on lap 2 of 35. Meloon is your leader then. Danny in 2nd place. Mr. Smith running 3rd. Carmad Kyle in 4th place. This is a brilliant fight we've got in our hands as now Danny takes the lead of the Grand Prix. They are all scrapping away out in front. Absolutely no time to breathe if you are one of the top 4. Meloon looking round the outside. Danny trying to defend the position. Bolt will. Already getting a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Meloon does hold on to the lead for the time being. This is an absolutely brilliant fight we are seeing so far. Mr. Smith now going through on Danny and up into second place. Runs it in a little bit deeper though. Will Danny get a better exit than the Mercedes car? Carmad Kyle very much involved in this fight, as is MCL. An absolutely brilliant scrap to the opening start of this Canadian Grand Prix. Is Mr. Smith going to try something at the hairpin? Doesn't look like it. Runs the car in a little bit deeper to try and get some better traction off the exit. As that is Ollie, and Ollie has gone round. Ollie at the hairpin. We heard a bit of contact, and Ollie now down to 14th place as Mr. Smith retakes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Carnage ensuing in the opening few laps. Mr. Smith, your leader. Meloon is second with Danny running in third. MCL fourth. Carmad Kyle in fifth place. Insane battles going on at the front. And this train goes all the way down to Matt Connor in seventh place. Any sort of mistake will be capitalized upon. These drivers have really got to try and figure it out and make sure they don't do anything too worrying. Otherwise, they could find themselves in a world full of pain. Mr. Smith, still your leader then. Mr. Smith and Meloon pulling away from Danny, who currently runs in third at the moment. It's a brilliant fight we're watching here in Canada. I do want to remind you, if you haven't already, make sure you are following down below and you are liking the live to show us that you are enjoying it. Mr. Smith is your leader. Meloon comfortably in second. Danny gaining some of that time back in third. MCL running fourth on the hard compound tyres. He is going to be very dangerous in this race, I reckon. Starting on the hards, Ollie now picks up a 3-second time penalty just to make his race that little bit worse. But we've still got 30 laps to go. Plenty of time for things to happen, as that is MCL. He turned in off of the grass. Carmad Kyle. That almost looked like a bit of lag though, because MCL has now retaken fourth place. That was very weird, it must be said, as MCL is now disconnected. We'll try and get MCL back in as quickly as possible. The old commentator's curse strikes. Just as I said, I thought MCL would be doing very well. MCL now down to 7th. And the V-Car man struggling. Here comes Executioner Same down the inside. And that's going to open the gaps up because of the disconnection. Mr. Yoki asking who is leading the championship. Well, we've only had one race. This is only round 2. But in this division, it is Lawless Fever that is currently leading the championship. From MCL in second, Nova Piper in third, Stubler fourth, with Tom in fifth. So a lot of people aren't racing that raced last week. So the championship going to be very chop and change, it must be said. Mr. Smith leads Meloon. And then it's 1.9 seconds back to Danny. We've got a yellow flag. And that is a crash there between RTG Jackie and Ollie. Jackie with not much front wing. Ollie doesn't have any damage, but is maybe going to lose a position here. No, manages to defend from D Ghost. You can see Jackie really struggling with the damage. And we'll have Ollie all over the back of him again. Biggie saying, I want to join this league, but I'm not great at the game, but I'm getting better on wheel. Trust me, it is well worth joining. I mean, we've had drivers like TTV Kian, MOR Blake, Alcada, who aren't, let's say, the quickest. I'm sure they won't mind me saying that. But in getting the experience through league racing and racing with other people, have really improved. I mean, Blake in the last season or so has gone from being a midfield driver to contending for pole positions and race victories. So I would definitely recommend getting yourself in. Even if you don't think you're great, the experience you get is tenfold. It's absolutely brilliant. I would really, really recommend that you join, to be honest. Mr. Smith and Meloon still fighting away out front. That gap is closing now to Danny F31 because of the fighting that Meloon and Mr. Smith are putting on for us. You can see Mr. Smith with much more battery than Meloon as we go into the hairpin. It's 90% for Mr. Smith. It's only about 60 for Meloon. As down the back straight we go. Meloon not deploying as much as Mr. Smith. That will allow the Mercedes to pull a bit of a gap. Danny F31 has now closed up the gap to Meloon, as Meloon now picks up a 3-second time penalty. And how will that compound his race? Car Mad Kyle right on the back of Matt Connor, who does not have the overtake boost. The gap ahead of him, 3.2 seconds. Kyle right on the rear of that Scuderia Ferrari. And Kyle giving it everything to try and get himself ahead of the Ferrari. Blake involved in this fight as well, currently running in 6th. He's got Executioner Same right behind him as well. We'll quickly look at the penalties screen. We know there's always going to be penalties around this track. Canada, such a hard track to keep it within the track limits. As Blake picks up a 3-second time penalty. Penalties on the left-hand side of your screen, position change-wise. The big loser is Ollie, who's down 9 places. The big gainer is Matt Connor, who is up 6. Danny once again falling off the back of Meloon. We did have a yellow flag. I believe that was for Jackie, as we've got a very big scrap unfolding here. This is the battle for, I believe, 16th place. And you can see there's a car in the wall there. That's one of the Red Bulls. That's TTV Kian, who's been into the barriers. And this is getting very, very scrappy indeed. Let's go on board, and that's Kian out of the Grand Prix. The virtual safety car is deployed, and that is a big, big crash into the wall for the Red Bull driver. The virtual safety car deployed in this Grand Prix. And TTV Kian out here in Canada. There's a few drivers coming into the pit lane. What is Bolt Will doing? I have never seen anything like that in league racing before. Absolutely insane stuff. And we do not condone that in any way, shape or form. Bolt Will emerges from the pit lane. We are back to green flag racing here. Meloon has dived into the pit lane. Dylan's saying, is there any more races tonight? Not tonight. After this Grand Prix, we've got the MOR podcast, which will be streamed live on Twitch and on TikTok. We'll be doing 2 big giveaways on Twitch and TikTok as well. So do make sure you're following to get involved in those. Next races will be 2 and 4 p.m. tomorrow. Meloon emerges in 11th then. And the Alpine driver looking to try and get through on MCL, who's currently in 10th place. Bolt Will picks up another penalty. As I'm sure there is some sort of yellow flag glitch in this game. There was a yellow flag right where we were. Nobody was having any sort of issue. Here goes MCL round the outside of Luke Kemp. Meloon getting a little bit boxed in by this fight. Is going to follow MCL through. So gets through on Luke M. Is now going to look to try and make the move on MCL towards the chicane. Is going to look towards the inside line. Just has to back out of it. And isn't able to make his way through. If you are interested in joining the giveaway tonight during the podcast, make sure you are following the account. You have to be following us there. That is the car backwards, and that is Andy Price, who has pendulumed round into turn 1. I believe he was fighting away with extreme jag. And Andy Price now with major front wing damage. And the McLaren driver down to 10th place as well. We've got another yellow flag too. And I believe that was for Executioner Same, who has gone into the barriers. And carnage unfolding once more as MOR Blake now takes 4th place. Executioner Same with big damage to the front wing. Blake now right on the back of Car Mad Kyle. Bolt Will gets a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Same gets through on Blake, and you can see the penalties. 42 seconds as that is RTG Jackie into the barriers, and another virtual safety car is deployed in this race. And Jackie out of the Grand Prix. Same with very big front wing damage. I'm surprised he didn't box. Alcada has a drive-through penalty. Bolt Will with 42 seconds in penalties in this race. It is only a virtual safety car. As we now go back to green flag racing then. Bolt Will into the middle sector. I must say I am very confused how we've not had a full safety car. Car Mad Kyle now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Meloon running in 6th, 4.7 seconds off of this 3-way fight for the final podium place. Car Mad Kyle, Executioner Same, and MOR Blake. Executioner Same a little bit deep. Blake has to get out of it because Same is so slow because of the damage. Car Mad Kyle into the pit lane as Bolt Will picks up more penalties in this race and surely is nearing disqualification. Ian joining the TikTok saying he is fuming. We can't be surprised by that. We were on board with Kian when the crash happened into the barriers. I believe he was fighting away with Bolt Will, who is currently making a name for himself, but for all the wrong reasons in MOR. Blake believing, not Blake, sorry, Kian believing it was an intentional crash. Blake is still trying to gain on Executioner Same. Meloon is gaining on this fight as well. Mr. Smith is your leader by 12 seconds. We will go back to the tyre screen so you can see the difference in tyres. Meloon with the fastest lap of this race as Matt Connor now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Meloon gets past the lap car of Liam Wolf. Danny F31 sets a new fastest lap of this race. Ollie gets the 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retires. Here goes Meloon trying to make the move on Blake and get up into 3rd. There's nothing Blake can do about that. Meloon does move through into 3rd place. Meloon now looking to try and overtake Executioner Same. Into the hairpin we go. No move possible for the Alpine driver as we've now got a full safety car. deployed in this race. And what is that for? It's because one Javier has no front wing, and look who he's right next to. Safety car is deployed then. Mr. Smith comes into the pit lane, as does Executioner Same. Meloon comes in as well. Blake is in along with MCL. Matt Connor stays out and will be taking second place in this race. Is there anyone else electing to stay out? Extreme Jag is staying out. Car Mad Kyle is also staying out as the drivers flood from out the pit lane. Extreme Jag in 5th place. We've got Car Mad Kyle in 6th. Executioner Same is 7th. A few lapped cars in the way as well. We're on lap 15 of 35 and we're under safety car after what we can only imagine was contact between Bolt Will and one Javier. Bolt Will just coming out the pit lane. He's got 48 seconds in penalties. It was 58 before he came in to serve the 10-second penalty. Sean in the chat. Welcome in, Sean. Great to see you, mate. How have you been? Long time no speak. Mr. Smith is your leader then. Matt Connor in 2nd place. Meloon's 3rd with MOR Blake in 4th. Extreme Jag is in 5th. Glad to hear you've been well, Sean. Always love to hear that. Looking forward to hopefully racing with you at some point. Sean saying could win the championship this week. Very nervous. Best of luck, Sean. Honestly, I could not wish you more luck if I tried. I really hope it goes your way. What's the points differences? Lucas saying Bolt Will is crazy. He most certainly is. It's been an interesting race from Bolt Will, it must be said. Sean says it's a big gap, but as long as I finish ahead of the guy in 2nd, I will win. Well, it sounds like the cards are in your favour, Sean. So, end of the day, just do the best you can and be proud of your result. Albon Lover in the chat. You were meant to be racing, Albon Lover. What happened? You were down on the attendance. Where are you, mate? You've upset your fans. Safety car should be in this lap, I would imagine, if I am not mistaken. I probably am, but we can hope not. Casey in the chat as well. Welcome in, Casey. Good to see you. Albon Lover saying I had family coming over. Well, that's fair enough. Do you have POV of family coming over? Otherwise, we might ban you. Safety car is staying out for one more lap then, it looks like. Mr. Smith leading this race and doesn't have a penalty either. That is going to be the one thing that really helps Mr. Smith. Over Moffy saying, is there another race today? There is not another race today. We have the podcast at 10 p.m. Next race will be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. One more lap under the safety car then, or, well, about half a lap now. And we will get underway once more. Green flag running for the Canadian Grand Prix. No worries at all. Moffy, we've... Oh, sorry, Molly. I thought your name was Moffy with the weird lines in the middle. I do apologise for calling you the wrong name. Molly, there is races every single day. So even if you can't make it one day, you can always make it another. There's always a race every day at 2 and 4 p.m. They're the social races that absolutely anyone can jump into. And then the 6 and 8 p.m. races are championship events. If you want to sign up to championship events, as I said earlier, I'm pretty sure you said you did it. Just let us know what days you're available on a week-to-week basis. And you'll be able to sign up when full-time seats are available. Safety car is in then, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Smith is your leader, the Mercedes man. Got to execute this safety car restart because he's got Matt Connor, Meloon and Blake in behind him. He's got Extreme Jag on the mediums as well. Although 5-lap worn mediums, they're probably not looking the best as Mr. Smith does get us underway then. And as we cross the start-finish line, we will go back to green flag conditions here at Canada. Mr. Smith is your leader. Matt Connor in second place. Meloon running third with MOR Blake in fourth place. Extreme Jaggers fifth with Carmad Kyle in sixth. Executioner same in seventh with MCL in eighth. Luke M is ninth and Danny is in 10th place. We've lost Jack, Ollie, Jackie and Kian from this Grand Prix so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more by the time we reach the checkered flag. Executioner same and MCL doing battle in the first sector. You can already see the gaps opening up. The top three really streaking clear away from MOR Blake. Mr. Smith, Matt Connor and Meloon all looking very racy in their own right. As Matt Connor looks towards the inside line of the hairpin. It was a late move by Matt Connor. And he's now wheel to wheel with Mr. Smith. We will look at the position change. You can see Matt Connor started in 10th place. And Matt Connor does now lead the Canadian Grand Prix. Mr. Smith trying to fight it back through the chicane. He's not able to do so. And Matt Connor is your leader. But towards turn one, Mr. Smith and Meloon both using a lot more battery than the Ferrari. Mr. Smith retakes the lead. Meloon now down to second place. Matt Connor is third with Blake in fourth. Extreme Jag in fifth. Executioner same is sixth. MCL is seventh as Bolt Will has finally been disqualified from the race. And I think we all breathe a big sigh of relief now that Bolt Will is out of the Grand Prix. Alex saying penalty Grand Prix. Canada is so difficult on the track limits, especially on the strict track limits. When you're racing so closely with other drivers, it is very difficult to keep the car on the road. You do always see a lot of penalties in a Canadian Grand Prix. Mr. Smith is your leader. Meloon in second place, trying to chase him down. Matt Connor running in third. MOR Blake in fourth. Extreme Jag is fifth. As Meloon is pulling back towards the inside line. And the Alpine driver does once again take the lead. And Mr. Smith getting all out of shape. Through goes Matt Connor. Now look at MOR Blake trying to fight away with the Mercedes as well. Towards turn one we go. Blake sends it in deep. Now we'll have to go round the long way at turn one. Doesn't really have the grip to do so. Runs off the road. And Mr. Smith will retain third place. Matt Connor up to second. Then Meloon into the lead as MCL gets through on execution. The same as there's a crash. And that is Extreme Jag who is out. And we do have another safety car deployed in this race. And that is a big crash into the wall there for Extreme Jag. I believe Executioner Same was involved in that fight. And you can see Executioner Same with no front wing. Carnage ensuing in Canada. And we have got another safety car deployed at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Just plugging in a phone charger so I can keep looking at your wonderful chats. Let's get that over here a little bit. Beautiful. Lucas saying, can we see tyre wear? We can't see what the actual wear is. We can see how long they've been on their tyres, and that is how long everyone has been on their tyres so far. We're on lap 21 of 35 of this Canadian Grand Prix. Ben in the chat. Welcome in, Ben. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Meloon is your leader then from Mr. Smith in second place. MOR Blake running in third. Carmad Kyle is fourth with Danny F31 in fifth. But with the penalties, this is surely going to switch around. If we look at the penalties, if the race were to end now, it would be Mr. Smith winning with Danny F31 in second place. And I think MCL might nick third. If I had to guess who's going to be on the podium, I would have said Mr. Smith, Danny F31, MCL, because they've all not got penalties. You've also got to think MCL on the new tyres too. Little bit of contact there, and that's not a little bit of contact. That's a lot of contact. That's probably going to be a penalty for someone. You would have imagined. Somehow nobody picks up a penalty for all of that contact. Raiders saying, personally, I'd bank on another safety car and serve my penalty early. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. We've already had, what is it, 2 virtual safety cars and 2 full safety cars now. So I'm not 100% sure if there is a limit. I've been told there is a limit. I've been told there isn't a limit. So I'm not certain if there even can be another one. LM saying he's got a lot of wing damage. Will he be into the pit lane? He decides to stay out. It is big front wing damage for Luke M. Batowl is going to come into the pit lane. It's Meloon that is your leader then. Mr. Smith in second place. MOR Blake is in third with Carmad Kyle in fourth. Safety car will be in this lap. We will go racing on lap 24. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, it's looking like Ferrari are the strongest constructor at the moment. There is your confirmation. The safety car is in this lap. And Meloon gets this race underway then. Mr. Smith running in second place with MOR Blake in third. Carmad Kyle in fourth. Normal grip is restored, as is the straight mode and the boost mode. And we can get racing once more in Canada. Meloun is your leader. Mr. Smith running in second. Blake is third. Kyle fourth. Danny fifth. Matt Connor in sixth. MCL in seventh. As the scrapping now ensues here in Canada. Meloun is growing a healthy lead immediately over Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith using a bit of battery to try and stick with Meloun, who's looking very, very quick in the opening phases under this safety car restart. And you can see Mr. Smith having to burn a lot of battery just to stick with him. Meloun out in front, then you can see Matt Connor and Car Mad Kyle fighting away. Danny F31 also involved in this fight. And it does look like the two Ferraris are going to get through now, fourth and fifth. For the Scuderia, Car Mad Kyle with a lot more battery than Matt Connor. Matt Connor throwing it into the final chicane, keeping it on track as well, and is in fifth place then. And the two Ferrari cars looking absolutely brilliant at this moment in time. If I were Danny F31, I would let Matt Connor go, to be honest. Try and drag him along to the top three. You know you'll beat Matt Connor anyway. He's got a penalty. But on the fresh medium tyres, I'd be hearing a little bit of Matt Connor is faster than you. Do you understand this message? Matt Connor does go by his teammate then. Danny doesn't fight that one too much. And Danny will just be hoping that Matt Connor can drag him along to the rear end of Blake. Matt Connor on the 4-lap-old medium tyres as opposed to the top three's hard compound tyres. Blake doing a very good job as well of sticking with the leaders, as that's what we've been waiting for. Mr. Smith with a 3-second penalty. And now this really opens up. Any of these three can now win this race. Blake will be praying that something happens to Mr. Smith and Meloun. Meloun will be praying he's got the pace to overtake Meloun. And Meloun will be praying that he's got the pace to stay ahead of Mr. Smith. This is going to be a brilliant fight to the end of the race. Matt Connor will also try and get himself involved, but obviously has 6 seconds in penalties. We've got Danny F31, who will look to try and win this race without even running in a podium spot, if he's able to get onto the rear end of the top three. All those questions will be answered at the end of lap 35. There is still a fair way to go in this race. Danny still trying to stick with his teammate Matt Connor. This is your battle for the front few positions. Meloun versus Mr. Smith. Alpine versus Mercedes versus McLaren. Blake is most certainly in this fight as well. The gap is coming down between Blake and Matt Connor as Alcada has crashed out into the wall of champions. We might see this on board with Andy Price. You can see the car straight on at the wall of champions. We are lucky that isn't a virtual or full safety car, as Andy Price sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Blake now picks up another time penalty, and that is going to crash him out of contention for victory. Blake, who has been doing such a good job so far, it's not only going to cost him a chance at victory, it's most certainly going to cost him a podium. MCL running in 6th place at the moment. Also has no penalty, is right on the back of Danny. And we know MCL with the fresher rubber too. This is going to be a very interesting end to this Grand Prix. I must say, I am really quite torn for who is going to win this race. Javier gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Alcada saying he got hit in the wall by Javier. We obviously hope that wasn't the case. But Alcada, of course, send the clip in to us. And we will review it. Meloon still your leader then. MCL falling off the back of Danny, and Matt Connor basically waves his teammate back through. They give each other a little bit of a weave to say thank you. As MCL now picks up a penalty. How far is Danny off the leader? 3.1 seconds. So Danny needs to try and gain up to the rear end of Blake, Mr. Smith, and Meloon. Otherwise, it may well be Meloon that's just going to take this race win anyway. Meloon is your leader. Mr. Smith right in behind him, but I must say, when Mr. Smith races, he's the type of guy that comes across like there's no one that has an answer to him. He is incredibly, incredibly quick. But Meloon today looks like he may have that answer. Meloon, of course, always very impressive, especially in race trim. I definitely didn't tout him as one of the winners of this Grand Prix. But if he does, it is a very, very deserving drive. Matt Connor and Danny still fighting away in this race. I don't think they can really decide who is quicker to try and get them up to the back. And Danny F31 now 5 seconds behind as MCL has gone into fourth. Carmad Kyle and Executioner same now fighting away. And it does look like it's going to be Meloon that takes this race victory here today. I really can't see Danny F31 gaining this time back now. Alcada saying really excited for the podcast. I'm very glad, Alcada. I am also looking forward to it. I believe Mike is also really looking forward to it as well. Riley saying back for the peak commentary. I'm glad you can join us, Riley. You join us at a very good time. Mr. Smith is leading. Meloon in second place. Harry saying, JP, do you play F1 Clash? I used to, like a little sweat. I used to love playing F1 Clash. And then I went off of it quite a while ago. Probably about, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 months ago is when I properly played it. Have not played it since. Meloon is running in second place and is looking to try and get tabs back on Mr. Smith. Little bit of a moment at the rear end for Meloon. Mr. Smith just controlling the traction a little bit better. Alcada, I will speak to Mike and let you know. Meloon trying to gain on Mr. Smith, but it just doesn't look possible at this moment. MOR Blake is falling back into the clutches of MCL. Not that it really matters anyway. Blake with 3 more seconds in penalties than MCL. I must say, a big shout out as well to Liam Wolf. Is running in 14th and a bit off the pace, don't get me wrong, but has not picked up a penalty and has continued on with this race. Massive respect to Liam Wolf. He's the sort of driver that you need in a league that may not be the quickest, may not be putting on show-stopping performances, as that was someone going into the back of him. That was MCL. MCL gets away without damage as Liam lets the Ferrari of Matt Connor go as well. And Danny's got big damage. That's why he's fallen off. Danny F31 has got major right-hand side front wing damage. There's no wonder that Danny's falling off the back of his teammate. He might not even as now. And that is your race win confirmed. Because Meloun with a 6-second penalty. Mr. Smith only with 3. And this might put MCL onto the podium. Well, he'll be on the podium anyway. He's going to beat MOR Blake. Will it put him up into second place? I don't think so. As Blake is about 3.3 seconds off of Meloun. We're on lap 33 of 35. Meloun will still try and fight this on track. But unfortunately, the penalties are going to let it turn to go Mr. Smith's way. Harry saying see tyre wear, please. And there is your tyres. You can see MCL on much fresher tyres than Blake. As we make our way down the main straight, Meloun runs out of battery, and that's going to allow Mr. Smith to scamper off into the distance as we start the penultimate lap of this race. It's Mr. Smith that is your leader. Meloun is going to look for the move down the inside. Little bit of contact between them. Meloun really just fighting this to try and get Mr. Smith a penalty. As Blake picks up another 3-second penalty. And that's almost going to guarantee that he falls behind Danny F31 as well. For Mr. Smith, unless he does pick up some sort of penalty, this is going to be victory for him. Hasn't had it the easy way, has had to battle Meloun all throughout this final stint. The Alpine and the Mercedes putting on a brilliant fight for us. And it does look like it's going to go Mr. Smith's way because Meloun does not have the battery to fight this and has the extra 6-second penalty. He will try and fight it down towards turn 1. Mr. Smith defending the inside line. Meloun flying around the outside. But not able to make the move as we are now on the final lap. And Meloun off into the grass. And now into the barriers. Struggling to get back on. Through goes Blake. Blake's got a 9-second penalty. But if Meloun keeps struggling, this could really harm him. Meloun is going to lose out on second here. It's going to go to MCL. Meloun losing it at turn 1 on the final lap of this race. And it draws him down to second. It might even be third. It draws him down to third. Might even be fourth, sorry. For Mr. Smith, it is going to be the ideal night. He did not get this the easy way. He had to earn this Grand Prix victory. And that is exactly what the Mercedes driver has done through the final chicane for one final time. The Canadian Grand Prix goes to Mr. Smith. He sees the checkered flag first to win around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Blake and Meloun fighting to the line. But it's MCL that will get second. Danny does take third on the final lap. The mistake from Meloun down at turn 1. And Danny does get a podium. He was 7 milliseconds off of getting P2. Meloon finishes in 4th with Blake in 5th. Matt Connor is 6th with Carmad Kyle in 7th. Executioner same as 8th. Batowl in 9th place. D-Ghost will finish 10th with Andy Price in 11th. Luke M in 12th with One Javier in 13th. And it's Liam Wolf in 14th place. Meloon has retired from the session, so that gifts 4th to Blake, 5th to Matt Connor, 6th to Carmad Kyle. No clue why Meloon would do that. But that is your race over, ladies and gentlemen. What a Canadian Grand Prix that was. Do make sure, if you are new, you are following us. And make sure you tune into the podcast in 45 minutes' time. We'll be doing 2 giveaways on the podcast. So make sure you get yourself following. Make sure it's always fun is the podcast. Your podium celebrations are underway here in Canada. There is your race winner of Mr. Smith. Fastest lap goes to Luke. Driver of the day is MCL. Most overtakes and cleanest driver is D-Ghost. Mr. Smith is your winner then, from MCL in 2nd, Danny in 3rd. It's Blake in 4th place. And there are your standings from the Canadian Grand Prix. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. I'll be back with you in about 44 minutes for the podcast. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Make sure you're following if you haven't already. Thank you for tuning in. Until I see you, take care and ta-da.